Hello everyone, my name is Eris. I'm going to help you here, hopefully, change your Apple ID password. Quick guide on how to do that. This is for accounts that have two-factor authentication. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you have a trusted phone number which gets your verification codes. And when you sign into your Apple ID, you may need that. Along with, of course, your password. So I'm going to walk you through the first thing that I would do if you forget your password. First thing I would do here is go to iforgot.apple.com. This is a good website to go to. Of course, Apple may change their policies on how you change your password. As you can see, when you go to the website itself, it's going to ask you for your Apple ID email address. So hopefully you remember that. You'll just type that in there. And then it will ask for what your trusted phone numbers are on your Apple ID. What is a trusted phone number? That's basically where you added a phone number to your Apple account and you verified it, and it's a number that can get verification codes. It's better to add more than one. I would only recommend adding other numbers if you truly trust the other numbers you're adding. So if it's like a family member, fiance, your wife, husband, it doesn't matter. Make sure you can trust them. You're going to enter your phone number here. So if you have other Apple devices, let's say you forgot your password on your iPhone, but your iPad and your MacBook are signed in. As you can see here in the top right corner of the iPad, it's asking reset a password request has been sent. Go ahead and show below. Same thing on the iPad, allow or don't allow. And if you had the iPhone, let's say the iPhone was still signed in, you would allow or do not allow. Basically, if you allowed there, I'm just going to show you real quick on the iPad. It's going to be the same on the iPhone, similar on the Mac. It's going to ask some information. Hopefully you remember that. And then boom, new Apple ID password. You just enter what you need. Let's say you don't have any devices signed in. Let's say that you only have an iPhone and you forgot your Apple ID password. So at that point, if you scroll down the website, you'll see don't have access to any of your devices. If you go in there, it'll give us three options. Reset your password while signing into a new device. As it states, let's say you got an iPhone, a new iPhone, you bought one brand new from Verizon or a carrier or from the Apple Store. When you set it up, use your Apple ID, and then you can forget your password and set up a new one. It's brand new. Try to use Find My iPhone. I'm going to show you that in a few moments. Or you can use Find My iPhone, the application, on an iOS, that's an iPad, iPod, iPhone device that's located in the Apple Store or a authorized reseller like maybe Best Buy. At that point, you can potentially reset your password there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what Find My iPhone looks like on an iOS device. So it says use it on someone else's. So the whole idea here of having a trusted device is a device that's signed in to your Apple ID already, meaning that you put in the verification code and password successfully. In that case here, let's say that you're on your iPhone and that's your only device that you have. So hopefully, if you verified in the past, this is a possibility, you would just jump into the Find My iPhone application. Once you're in the Find iPhone application, of course, you just want to make sure your Apple ID email address is plugged in here where it says Apple ID. You'll then just tap on Forgot Apple ID or Password. Once you hit that, it's going to ask some information. My device is trusted here, so it looks like it's asking for a passcode, and boom, asking for a new Apple ID password. Now let's say that you didn't have any devices totally signed into your Apple ID and you don't even have access to your original trusted number. You got a new phone number and you broke your phone and you had to get a new phone. At that point, you may need to go through what's called account recovery. Account recovery is something that you can just go on Apple's website and see. It's usually, I suggest, as a last resort. And so when you go ahead and go through that process, it could take some time. It depends on the status of your account in terms of security. Of course, there's not a lot of information on it because it's for security. But other than that, that is a quick wrap-up of how to reset your Apple ID password. The one last tip I want to give you is this is going to be for the similar to, let's say, a iPhone, iPod, or iPad. If you jump into settings and then you jump into your name at the top, if you see that, that's a good sign. And if you can see password and security, usually you can skip all these steps and hit change password at the top. For Mac, for example, you do the same thing. You would go to System Preferences, go to iCloud, Account Details, let that load up here, Security, and once you're in security, you can see change password as an option. I'm not going to change it because of course I know it, but that's also another step if you know your Apple ID is signed into one of your devices at the moment. And so just a few quick tips to try to remember your password and not have to go through this whole long process in the future. Add more than one trusted phone number if you can. Just make sure that if you add in the numbers, you want to make sure you trust whoever owns that number. If you have other Apple devices, do not go into account recovery yet. Look at those other Apple devices, see if you can do what we just did together, or just simply start at the website. Usually it can guide you through on where you need to go. Other than that, those are some quick, simple steps you can take a look at to reset your password.